yesterday, our Conservative team put forward a motion to Parliament that told the Liberals to reverse their plan to ban the sale of internal combustion engines, your gas-powered vehicles, in Canada. That's set for 2035. But unfortunately, the NDP, the Bloc, and the Liberals all voted against our motion. So the ban is here to stay and will take full effect in less than 10 years. Let's call this what it is. The Liberal ban on your choice to drive whatever cars or trucks fit your needs is a top-down central planning fantasy. The ban will punish hardworking Canadians who rely on their gas-powered vehicles every single day to earn a living, to care for their families, and to just live their lives the way they want. Look, Canada is a vast, diverse country, the second largest landmass in the whole world, with people spread across this great land. And don't we Canadians know this best? In all kinds of weather. But look, since the Liberals are so obsessed with their ideological ban on what you drive, let's take a look at the real data. So StatsCan says in 2022, the most recent data that's available, gas-powered vehicles make up over 94% of the cars on Canadian roads. Electric vehicles, on the other hand, make up only 3% of the driving population nationwide and less than 2% in Alberta. Now take charging infrastructure and distribution systems, which is, of course, both needed to charge electric cars. Well, according to the federal government's own report, right now there are about 30,000 electric charging stations in Canada. But get this, the truth is that 85% of them are in Quebec, Ontario, and BC. So for the Liberals to get their EV mandate done, they would need to build 679,000 more charging ports by 2040. That would mean they'd have to double their current build rate every single year for 15 years. But I mean, I'm sure you agree, this is a government that hasn't gotten anything built in the last decade. And the reality is the Liberals' own data also says that rural, remote, and Indigenous communities and low-income areas, that's what their inside memos say, verbatim, will be hit the hardest by this gas vehicle ban. Even worse, a report from Natural Resources Canada estimates it could cost up to $300 billion to prepare Canada for this ban. Well, where's the money coming from? And is that really where you want your tax dollars to go? Of course, we haven't even touched on the generation of electricity needed to charge all these electric cars. A recent study found that Canada would need to build about 10 new mega hydro dams or 13 large new natural gas plants in just 11 years to support the grid. But keep in mind, these projects, they usually take over 20 years to build. With the Liberals' failed track record that blocked and delayed resource projects, I think it's fair to say Canadians could be forgiven for doubting that they will even get one built, let alone a dozen. Right now in Canada, electric vehicle costs generally range from $40,000 to over $160,000, out of reach for the vast majority of Canadians and obviously already pretty pricey. But according to a new PBO report, that's the Parliamentary Budget Officer, the independent watchdog who's there to scrutinize Liberals and remind them how expensive their ideas and promises are to you, the price of an electric vehicle would need to drop by 33% in only 5 years from now for the Liberals to actually deliver on their authoritarian EV mandate. The Liberal government really has no plan. This ban on what you drive is an expensive, ideological, virtue-signaling crusade that will only mean more Ottawa insider control that will make you pay more for an electric vehicle that might not work for your life and your needs, and it will be more expensive if you can and do want an electric vehicle. Let's remember who gets hurt the most from this ban. It's not the Ottawa elites who fly around on private jets and lecture everyone else. It's the rural families in Lakeland and across Canada who drive to work, school, hockey practice, and 4-H events who will be hurt. And you know what? Every Canadian has the right to choose what they drive to make their lives work. I don't think the Liberals realize that not every mechanic knows how to work on an electric vehicle, and not everyone has time to sit and wait and plug in their cars. And of course, After 10 years of these Liberals, not everyone readily has the money anymore to pay for a new vehicle and a home charger just like that. But for some reason, Prime Minister Carney is adamant to get this done. Now, you might wonder why. Well, maybe it's because before he became Prime Minister, he was the chair of Brookfield. Now, he's yet to disclose his financial conflicts of interest, but Canadians do know that Brookfield is heavily invested in EV supply chains. Just maybe this is all about the Prime Minister's former company, Brookfield's bottom line. I'll let you speculate. Look, Canada is a massive country, and yet again, the Liberals forget that people live outside cities, and people even in cities don't have enough infrastructure for their mandate. People's lives depend on their gas-powered vehicles across the country. Even more, not only is this ban going to be expensive for every individual Canadian, it's going to cost real jobs. A new report found that with the recent unjustified U.S. tariffs, Canada's auto sector will lose 50,000 jobs because of this ban. So the Liberals talk about elbows up, but while the Canadian auto sector faces U.S. tariffs and manufacturers in Canada say this ban is impossible, the Liberals are pushing it through anyway. Here's the truth. Only conservatives believe in freedom, fairness, choice for you, and a government that works for you, not against you. And unlike the Liberals, I and our common sense conservative team will fight for your freedom every single day.